Hello loves, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be breaking down the full moon in Aquarius that is coming up on August 22nd, and we get quite a bit to talk about. Okay, we got quite a bit to talk about because this is a very critical time. Why is it a critical time? Well, we're going to talk about it. So as always, we're going to be doing a spell guide. We are also going to be looking at the cards, but we're going to start with the astrology. We're going to start with the planetary positions, and then we're going to move on from there. So planetary positions, if you see me looking down, so I'm looking at my notes. Planetary positions, we have the sun in Leo, the moon will be in Aquarius, Mercury will be in Virgo, Venus will be in Libra, Mars will be in Virgo, Jupiter and Saturn will be in Aquarius in retrograde, Uranus will be in Taurus in retrograde, Neptune will be in Pisces in retrograde, Pluto will be in Capricorn in retrograde. Okay, everything's in retrograde. Everything's in retrograde, y'all. Basically, the generational planets plus Jupiter are in retrograde. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on energetically speaking, and the theme is very heavily moving on. It's very heavily moving on. Don't fight me on this, but it's very heavily moving on. So we're starting off with the sun in an opposition to the moon. So when the sun is opposing the moon, your ego, because the sun is your ego, your inner child, your willpower, and your moon, which is your emotional consciousness, your emotional energy, are opposing each other. They're not on the same page. So energetically, there might be a little bit of tension. Do not forget that Leo and Aquarius are opposite signs. So the energy, they're literally direct opposite signs. So the energy can be very like fighting and internalized because we're still in Leo season, right? We're about to go into Virgo season, but we're still in Leo season as per this full moon. So there will be this internalized like friction there. When it comes to the ego versus individuality and versus the collective energies as well, because the generational planets are in retrograde, y'all. And I cannot stress this enough. When all of the generational planets are in retrograde, it is affecting all of us collectively. It is not singular. However, because the sun will be in Leo, okay, and then we have this opposition, our moon, our emotions, is definitely highlighting us and the collective, but our ego is wanting us to internalize a lot of things. So we are going through a little bit of a process because it's almost like, because there's so much going on generationally, going on with the collective energies, with society itself, we might like just shy away and go within, which is tapping into the Aquarian part of the energy that is all about individuality, because that's also what Aquarius rules. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. It's not just about you, it's about how you're reacting to the collective circumstance. So you have to keep that in mind as you're navigating this opposition, because it might feel a little bit like, oh, you might care, like let's say an issue comes up, like you might care about, you know, something that's going on in the world right now. Just look at, you know, what's going on in the news, and then you might care about it. You're like, damn, that sucks. But then at the same time, you're like, but I'm like really depressed and stressed out about this thing in my life right now. So there's just kind of like awareness of what's going on collectively, but also like, instead of focusing so much on the collective energies, because it can be a little bit depressing, there's an internalized like just focus on you kind of energy as well. So you have to be mindful of how you are reflecting within both of those two, because what's going on in the world might make you more depressed, you know, and what's going on with you, and then looking at what's going on in the world is like, is there a green light? Is there something? Is there, am I going to see my way out? Are we going to be okay? You know, that kind of energy, that kind of vibe. So just be mindful, because oppositions can feel a little bit frustrating on the day of. So be mindful. The sun will also be in an opposition to Jupiter, okay? And this is because Jupiter is also in Aquarius. So there is this, when it comes to the sun and it's opposing Jupiter specifically, Jupiter being the planet of expansion, abundance, luck, opportunity, philosophy, education, travel, all of these things, you might have to put certain things on pause, even if you know, wanted to do it anyway. And by certain things on pause, I would look at what's going on collectively, look at what's going on society. And what is going on collectively, Abby? Well, I don't know. There's a whole Delta thing going on right now. So if you wanted to, like, you know, plan a vacation or do something for your birthday or do something for the end of the year or something like that, you might actually have to reconsider what you want to do. You might actually have to put certain things on pause, because when the sun is in an opposition to Jupiter like this, and Jupiter is in retrograde, it's kind of like you're gonna have to rethink that, boo. You're gonna have to, like, you're gonna have to really, you know, you might have to sit one out. You might have to sit this one out specifically, because it might not be the best time for you to focus on manifesting out of your own passions specifically, and you might need to reevaluate and look at a different solution, a different, you know, something else that you should be doing maybe during this time, instead of trying to force something to happen that is not meant to happen right now. And the reason why I say it's not meant to happen is because it's opposing your ego and your willpower, okay? Jupiter's opposing your willpower. Jupiter, the planet of abundance and expansion, is opposing your willpower, which means that if you try to do a road opening spell right now, it's just not gonna work. It's not going to work, because energetically speaking, it's not the time for that. Like, it's not the time for you to use it that way either. So it's like, if you try to force it, you will find that you're not going to be able to, it's just not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to do it. It's just not gonna work. Just trust me. It's not gonna work. Next, we have the moon in conjunction with Jupiter, because both of these are in Aquarius. And this is gonna emotionally tug you to focus more on the collective energies. What could you be doing for the collective? Is there anything that you could be doing right now? Is there anything that you could be contributing to, especially when it comes to your voice, especially when it comes to different movements and different things that are going on? I know within the United States, there's like stop line 3, stop line 5, stop line 4. There's like so many different pipelines that are trying to be built right now that go over 222 rivers in the United States, which means that those rivers will end up being polluted and people will die of different diseases and cancer and different things because of these pipelines being built. So how are you contributing to what's going on in your area? How are you contributing to what's going on in your lands? How are you being a member of society? How are you actually helping in anything? Especially now that, you know, COVID is doing what it's doing and it's getting a little bit worse. How are you doing your part to not only make sure you're safe, to make sure your home's safe, to also make sure that you know you're spiritually protected? How are you maintaining your health levels? How are you able to individually make sure that you are protecting yourself? And for some people that might mean, you know, getting the vaccine. For some people that might mean, you know, thinking about like how they're going to deal with certain things, because, and I say that because vaccinations are technically, they technically go with Aquarian energy, because there are an evolutionary thing. Like, they get made to react to a certain issue so the collective can benefit. That's Aquarian energy. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody to, you know, what to do in regards to their health. I know when it comes to certain things, you might be kind of backed into a corner. I know a lot of people who I've spoken to who are like, I don't want to get it, but I live with my grandma and I don't want to kill her, you know, like it's like a kind of conversation. So I get certain people's like situations in regards to the vaccine, and, you know, we might be moving into another closure situation and stuff like that. I 100% understand the sentiment, and I understand the issues 1000%. And so I try not to judge, and I try to just, you know, you do you. I know that's a lot of people who think that it's spiritually going to affect them or whatnot, or it has negative consequences. And again, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I understand the reasons why some people might be pushed into getting it in order to protect their family members or the people they live with and stuff like that. And so it's important to not, you know, demonize people's, you know, intentions into getting these things, because it's for their benefit, right? It's for the collective benefit, it's for their benefit. And, you know, more people getting vaccinated helps the people who have a really bad immune system not get sick, because then more people are not getting sick as well. So it's important to kind of remember that there is a collective energy, and if you if you have been feeling or leaning to certain kind of issues, certain global issues that are going on right now, like I personally have no clue how to help everything that's happening in Afghanistan, and it's really, 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 really sad what's going on over there, especially when it comes to women and their rights. And I have no idea how to help with that, but it's definitely something that could be looked into. You can, there's different kind of nonprofits and things that you could look at or try to volunteer for that are helping women or whatnot. Like, there are things that you can collectively do if you feel like you have no power. Trust and believe that there is something that you can do where you can give your energy, your intention to the collective for issues that are going on right now. And there's so many different things that are going on. I know they definitely need volunteers for Stop Line Tree at 3. I always says tree. 3 at the different camps that are going on right now, because they're gonna poison these lakes. They're gonna poison these lakes for really nasty oil coal thing. I don't know what I don't fully understand why they're mining this shit, but it's not good, y'all. So it's important to kind of understand that if you don't maintain the land you're living on, you're not really setting yourself up or the future for success. So try to, do what it is that you need to do, especially with this conjunction, for you to emotionally feel like you're doing your part on a collective level, especially because Jupiter is in Aquarius in retrograde, which means that we need to look at the past. We need to evaluate and say, okay, I am not going to contribute to letting this shit slide. I'm going to say something, even if you have to tweet something, or you're just like, making a video trying to inform people like, hey, this isn't cool, this whatever it is. That's still you doing your part, and emotionally that's what's going to keep you contributing to the collective energies. I hope that makes sense. We also have a Mercury in conjunction with Mars, okay? And so when Mercury and Mars are in conjunction, the mind creates action, okay? Because Mars is a planet of passion, drive, action, war, and Mercury is a planet of communication and consciousness. So your mind, the second you decide to do something, it's a get. So you might be feeling a little bit more feisty right now. And again, because this moon is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is a sign of revolution and evolution, some of y'all might be just done sick and tired of certain things, and you might just, be like, no, no. What we now about to do. Okay, so be mindful of that energy, because you might come off as a little feisty, and depending on the situation, it may or may not be uncalled for. So I'm giving you the heads up. Be mindful. Okay. Mercury will be in a trine with Uranus as well, and Uranus is literally the planet of unexpected change, chaos, revolution, evolution. Like, literally the planet. So when I tell you your mind, like, there is like a triggering point that comes with this specific full moon, because there's a lot of Aquarian energy, and a lot of, like, it's almost like, oh, I'm so tired of this, I just want to do something about it. That's the energy that's sitting there. So be mindful how you release that energy, and this is why I'm going to recommend, when it comes to spell work, make sure you pop your windows open, make sure the air is fresh and clean. If you have like any stagnant air in your household, you will 1000% be feeling a little bit that pressure, that mental, like like anxious almost. So make sure that you're focusing on some, air elemental magic. Okay, make sure that you are working with the air element, that you are that you're setting the tone, whether light some incense, do some writing, get vent. Okay, this is a great time to go to therapy. This is a great time to do some scripting, write some stuff out, especially if it's something that benefits the collective as a whole. You can do that. Not all intentions, not all spells have to be about you. You can work some collective, kind of thing. You can even get your community, or get a couple of friends or a couple of people together, and then do work on something specifically. So it's about, making sure that you're creating action, and a lot of that is through your mind, through your words, through your conversation. So you might want to educate someone that day. You might want to tell someone off that day. You might be feeling like a little bit anxious, or feeling a little bit like irritated, or like you're powerless, and so you're gonna need to push that power through in some way. So have a healthy way to release your mental energies. So this is a great time to talk to spirit. This is a great time to do some meditations, okay, especially when it comes to moon, like Aquarius energy, because they're connected to the crown chakra. Great time to do some meditations. Great time to do some release work to really reset some certain things energetically speaking. This is also why I, you know, set up the Akashic Records 5-hour intensive on for this specific moon, because I knew that it was going to be a transformative experience. So that's a, trust me, I picked that date with intention. But it's a very purposeful energy, and it needs you to take on that revolutionary energy. So if you're going to do any type of spell work, you should focus on releasing, you should focus on change, upgrading, not necessarily road opening, okay, not road opening, because it's not there for that, but anything that you need to kind of like level you up to any point. I would kind of focus on more on doing a crown of success type of work than doing a road opening work. And the reason being is because the energy is not there for road opening, but the energy is definitely there for you to allow yourself to level up into meeting yourself at a different point, if that makes any sense. Mercury will also be in opposition to Neptune, okay? So when it comes to communication with certain people, there ain't no lies, okay? Because Neptune, planet of illusions, dreams, the subconscious mind, okay, creativity. When Mercury is opposing Neptune, they ain't no lies, okay? People could try to lie to you. People could try to get away with certain things, or even you yourself. You might have been telling yourself a lie, or selling yourself a dream or an idea, or telling yourself, oh, this person really cares about me, la 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 la. And then this is the time where you're just like, this person does not. Like it comes down to the dun dun dun. Like it's a clarity. Like if someone doesn't put in the time to care about you, and you can visibly see that, there is no excusing it. There's no more excusing it. You have to now accept it mentally, okay? And that's not gonna feel so nice, but there's no lying to yourself. Not with this moon, boo. So I'm just letting you know, so you don't get heartbroken later. Okay, anyway, Mercury will also be in a trine with Pluto, okay? So when it comes to our minds, we will be in a very transformative place. And this is, I'm not surprised that this came up, because the cards are very much like, no, you need to restart, you need to move. We're gonna talk about it in a second. But there is this energy of letting go, detaching, like not staying, like remove the stagnation, release the stagnant energy, release the things that you've been selling it to yourself for a while. It's kind of like even having like an outfit or a shirt or something for like years and years and years in your closet that you've been telling yourself you're gonna wear it one day and you never have, and at this point it's just taking up space, and you're just like, I haven't worn this, it's taking up space. This is that moment. This is that moment. And it's really important for us to mentally accept the transformation that we're going to be going through, because depending on how we are personally trying to address it, it can have a more aggressive tone, or it can feel like we're going through a really hard time on like the energy of the day. So just be mindful. Be mindful. Well, the energy of the 2.5 days, because we know. Now, Venus will also be in a trine with Saturn. This is gonna make it, because Saturn, you guys know, is a planet of restriction and time and karma and all in tradition and foundation and all these things. Venus being the planet of love, pleasure, and money. When Venus is in a trine with Saturn like this, it really amplifies the amount of pleasure you can have. Because Saturn is like, can you really enjoy this? Can you really? Is this really bringing you pleasure? Or have you been giving this person too much of your time and you really needed to let them go like 8 months ago? Like, are they really making you smile and happy, or are they just giving you anxiety? Don't talk to me, talk to Saturn, okay? I'm just saying, because at the end of the day, When Venus is in a trine with Saturn, Saturn is restricting the amount of pleasure that you can receive. And it's only going to give you access to that pleasure if you actually do what you're supposed to be doing. If you continue to try to sell yourself all of these ideas and you're still holding on, all this, no, you're not going to feel it. You're going to feel like, oh, like I want to feel good. And mind you, the sun is a Leo. Leo season is about pleasure. It's about enjoying yourself. So when you have Saturn like, no, you're not going to enjoy this until you let this go, it makes it a little bit more irritating. Okay? It makes it so we're going to have to accept, especially Saturn being the planet of foundation, that there is no foundation with these people, this situation, this job. Like, you're not going to be able to elevate past this point. You're not going to be able to move past this. You're going to have to find a different way. And that truth right there is not necessarily the easiest one to accept. Just be mindful. I said what I said. Anyway, so again, spell work, any types of cleansings, protection work, releasing work, great time to do right now. Some scripting, maybe like especially setting some goals for the future. Generally, yes, road opening work I would not recommend during this time. Mars is also in a trine with Uranus, and so there are things that are going to be popping off on this day, because Mars is the planet of war and action, and Uranus is the planet of unexpected change. So trust and believe that you could literally have something happen out of the blue and you might not even see it coming. So be mindful of the things and take it a little bit slowly. Don't rush, okay? Don't rush, because if you rush, you might just find yourself a little bit overwhelmed from what is occurring within that moment, within that time. So just take it easy. On a global scale, I feel like this weekend is going to be a little bit of a, it's just going to be a lot. Like collectively, it feels like there's certain things that are gonna be popping off, like quite literally. Like it feels like I don't want to say the B word, but it feels like the B word. It feels like, you know, there's gonna be a lot of aggression as well and again, it depends on how the energy manifests, but it feels like things literally popping off. So just be mindful, take it easy, take it slow. Try to remain calm. Try to make sure your self-care game is on point for this day. Saturn will still be in a square with Uranus, and this is going to make it so what's happening is very karmic. And because the generational planets are in retrograde, it's something that needed to happen like some time ago. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, when it comes to the cards, bottom of the deck is the Sun and the Eight of Swords, okay? And then we have the Page of Wands, no, the Page of Swords, the Page of Wands, and then we have the Five of Cups. Then we have the Eight of Wands and the Fool. Our outcome is the Fool card. So the energy is very much present where we have, I'm telling you, where we have been constantly, you know, thinking, and some of these intentions, some of these people that are in our lives, some of these situations that are like never really got started, they never really jumped off, they never really went anywhere, that they're not really showing, you know, growth, and they're not really showing any, you know, any progression in any way. You're gonna have to analyze this, which is that Five of Cups, the fact that it hasn't gone anywhere, the fact that there's just more pain associated with the situation than positivity. You're gonna have to analyze that, boo, because you will quickly end up moving into that reset, that Fool's energy, because again, that revolutionary energy that's happening there, that detachment energy that will be present, because Aquarius rules the energy of detachment. So there is going to be this kind of like, okay, I'm cutting the sword, I'm cutting this off, I'm just with the quickness, because this is an air sign that we're talking about. Aquarius is an air sign. With the quickness, you will see the energy kind of shift and just, okay, let me just restart, let me not text this person back, let me just ghost them, let me just leave, okay? And even look, Archangel Michael, look at Archangel Michael's cards. Detach from the situation and explore your options. Okay? Which is literally what we talked about, astrologically speaking. Detach from the situation because it's not bringing you anything. Okay, it's not giving you anything good. And explore your options. You have to, like, at this point, it's time to move past. It's time to look at what's better, what you actually need during this time and what you're not receiving, and then actually making a meaningful choice from that. We are also getting be still and go within and follow your passion. And this taps into that Sun and Leo energy, because ultimately that Leo, that Sun's energy, okay, your sun sign, you're gonna want to have that passion. You're gonna want to have that love. You're gonna want to have that intention set in there. And so if you're meeting a dead end, you have to choose you. You have to choose to, like, peace out, because it's just not worth it. So be still and go within, sort yourself out. Do, you know, again, cleansings. You can do a spiritual bath or smoke cleanse. You can focus on releasing, you know, any type of tension that you're currently having, venting, you know, even call your mama, call your sisters, call your sibling, call your friend and just vent, you know, and then, you know, let your thoughts out, so then once you process those things, you can move on from there. Okay, so that is the forecast for this full moon. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you guys got the messages that you needed. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you loves in the next video.